What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. And today's guest is Matt Ferrera, the owner and caretaker of the New Bedford Mush Mob. This guy is amazing.
Yes, sir.
Always been impressed with him for a long time. And just truly glad to get him on the podcast for the first time. And, this is hopefully it's something that we can do more often, only because the things he does is so creative and dynamic. I just love it.
Sorry, Charlie. Oh, sorry. I froze up a little bit,
Oh, okay, all right, yeah,
but
good
I wasn't
Wi-Fi.
sure if you were still talking or not.
Oh, all right, good Wi-Fi connection, some way, some shape or form should be good. And but anyways, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. Much appreciation to you and, letting me go on your platform. It's, definitely beloved in the city and important, I think. You're definitely one of the prominent voices of this generation in New Bedford, I think. So thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate that coming from you, man. Of intellect, man. Of loyalty, man. Of priorities and character. That means a lot. So I appreciate it. Um, yeah. So all right. So then let me start in the beginning, right? I want to start with this question: Is here you are, family man, doing your thing, and then all of a sudden you got puppies in your house. What was your
Yeah.
thinking behind all that, man?
We had a dog early on, and like it was our first dog, Smokey. He was a Pomeranian. When he
Love that
died,
name.
of course, everybody was sad. He was the dog that the kids, were born with. They grew up with him. Um, so naturally, like like many people, eventually we felt, hey, we have to have another dog. Um, Went a very different direction that time and got a husky. I that was always my dream dog growing up. I had
Nice.
a friend who had a husky. I was always fascinated, because they're wolfy looking, So I
Yeah.
was always intrigued by that. And long story short, one led to two. 'Cause, you need to get your dog a dog because it needs a friend, and you
hmm
know now we have five. So um, as I it didn't take long after I started walking all five of them to start getting a lot of attention because a, a guy walking around with five huskies is hard not to notice, right? So
Yeah.
I, I get
True.
I get a ton of positive attention, lots of great interactions with people. Just walking around wanting to, everything from, hey, can I take a picture of your dogs? Can I take a picture with your dogs? Just people wanting to pet them, et cetera, right? And I come from a background of communications, which, as you know, I came from the Standard Times most recently, but
hmm
the other side of the communications coin is the publicist slash PR kind of work. So my mind naturally, the way I'm wired, noticing all this attention, I'm like, people pay, people in businesses pay good money for attention that is not half this strong. I'm
hmm
giving people experiences that they remember forever. They're going home and telling their kids, nieces, and nephews, oh my God, I seen this guy walking five dogs. And then they'll see me and so on and so on. So I'm like, it seems crazy to me to not use this for something. Um, And one thing about me that I have to admit is I'm a great idea haver, haven't always been a great idea executor. Life. If you're not one who naturally just dives after your ideas, a lot of times your everyday routines kind of keep things on the back burner. Um, I'm sure a lot of creative people go through this. It can be kind of a struggle. But we get to a place now where I'm in an opportunity where I can, give this a try. And so I said, I'm gonna give it a shot. Started making business cards, and so yeah, now when they see me on the street, um, I'm handing them one of these. I don't know if you could read it. It's
Yes.
uh, it's called a pack imprint certificate. And at the moment, what these are good for is a discount at the Soul Key Stones, Crystals, and More tent coming up at the Whalen City Festival in July.
Very nice.
Which, as you know, we also have that crystal business. So I'm using one business to promote my other business, but my ultimate vision is to partner up with outside businesses who want me to promote their restaurant, their event, and what have you. And I think there's a lot of potential there to do some really effective street marketing for folks.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. The one thing about the dogs that you mentioned is that you know, they instantly grab your attention, right? And
Oh yeah.
only because, for one, they're huskies, but they're a unique husky color, right? You know, and so when you see them, it's like, oh my God, it's so, because the beauty of a husky is just, I mean, I've never seen an ugly husky dog in my life, you know. So, and you guys just, you magnified it, amplified it even more by the color of them, and because it's so unique, you know. I don't think I ever seen, uh, what do you call it, beige or tan, white husky.
Yeah, they're classified as red huskies.
Okay, and I've never seen that in my life, you know, in my life, and when I seen them with you, it was just amazing. And then a lot of times, like, I didn't talk to you from one job to the next, so I thought, I'm going by you on the bus, and I'm like, but I see you last second, and I want to toot my horn. I'm saying he's not gonna know who I am, um, because I'm long gone. So, and then the one occasion I made sure I stopped and said hello, because I see you almost every day or every other day. So, but great ideas. Where can we find you if we're looking for you? Where can we find you as far as social media?
So social media, my handle is newbie mush. That's NEWB mush, and that's for Facebook and Instagram. On TikTok, the handle is NB Mush Mob. Eventually, I'm going to change it all over to NB Mush Mob, but Facebook and Instagram, it makes you wait so long before you can change your
Oh
name
yeah,
or whatever.
yes, I agree. I um
But
I came across
yeah, no,
that.
I was glad that you stopped me that day, the first time you saw me.
Uh huh.
I Yeah, man, I'm always happy when because you have no idea. I see people that I haven't seen in years because they notice me walking my dogs. Like I end up reconnecting with people when I was still at the Standard Times. Especially with the phone interviews when you're just calling somebody without them
Hmm.
seeing your face, they can be a little, wary. Like, this guy saying he's with the Standard Times, the name sounds familiar, but he is just a voice on the phone. A lot of times, depending where the people lived, I could say, you ever notice a guy walking around with five huskies, and they know exactly who I am. And they're like, yeah, I know who you are. So yeah, man, that's the kind of recognition I never necessarily asked for, but I've been blessed with it. Um, uh,
it's equivalent of a tattoo on your face. The only thing is you
yeah,
got, it's
and man, it's yeah, more positive connotations.
yes, and
But I overheard this one young lady after I had a nice little interaction with her as she was walking away, talking to her mother or whoever it was. She was like, that guy is like, what did she say? She was like, that guy's like the mascot of New Bedford. And I was
Yeah.
like, that was like the best compliment someone could give me because it made me feel like I had joined like the New Bedford pantheon of recognizable people like the Viking helmet car
Mhm.
barn guy or
Yeah.
like
Well,
Clyde or George or somebody like that.
yeah.
Like that's a
The
high compliment for me.
It's crazy you mention that because the son of the guy that wore the Viking hat was on just 2 weeks ago. He was on the podcast. And it's Walter James Sylvia, who's a local author of the in New Bedford. So for you to say that, that's crazy. Yeah, it's man with the Viking hat was he's a
Yeah,
good dude, man. Good dude.
I caught that podcast, so that's probably what put it in my head. Yeah, I did see that
Yeah.
one. That
Mm.
was a
So
great episode too.
yeah, yeah. Well, I definitely want to do a second one with Walter only because there's some things that I thought I missed, and plus he's a good interview. He just you know
Oh yeah.
great.
Oh
So
yeah, I could have listened to that for hours, man. I'm the kind of stuff you guys talked about, I'm very interested in like his kind of perspective on
hmm
spirituality and things like that.
so true.
Um, like really this is, it's kind of a business talk, but I mean it has been kind of like a spiritual journey for me when it comes down to it, just because like I mentioned before, like that inner conflict that if I had to guess, I bet you have felt it too, being a creative soul like you are and a poet and, working a very structured job as a police officer like you did for a
hmm
long time. Um, let me ask you, did you ever feel like, oh man, I wish I had more time to pursue my artistic, endeavors like while you were still full time?
Yeah, almost. I didn't really start exploring it until later on in my career. Let me see. I could say maybe the last 8 years or so, but was always hesitant of how I presented it because being in law enforcement, you get filtered because there's no such thing as a police officer being off duty. You're a police officer 24 hours, 7 days out of the week.
Right.
And if I end up writing or creating something that ends up being a violation of rules and regulations, I can definitely be written up. And then to top it off, that social media was in our in our guidelines, in our policy and procedures. So, there's only certain things that you could do, without being in violation or not in violation. So it kind of kept me, sheltered for a little bit. But the tail end, I really started understanding and figuring out what was a violation, what wasn't, or what is rather, and just started writing more and more. And then some of the books came out, and then later, poetry on social media was constant. So yeah, but now everything's open. I think about a lot of things from little short stories to perhaps um, maybe short films. There's a lot of things that are going on in my head, and now I'm songwriting, so that's another piece, being creative. So
That's great. Yeah, I understand exactly what you mean, because even, being a reporter, like I had to, uh, there were certain policies in place, like, I could be wrong, I could be lying, but I want to say like weren't supposed to have like political signs at our houses, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because people gotta view us as objective. So,
yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean? And I understand it. I wasn't, against it or bitter about it or anything, but like I said, there was a part of me that just kind of wanted to be free to do my thing. You know what I mean? Like just for fun, I wrote a rap song 'cause, I used to rap for fun.
Yeah.
I made a rap song about being a husky. I made a little video, and it's not dirty, but it's like it's meant to be like a parody of like some hardcore like gangster stuff. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
like
Yep.
it's not something I'd be 100% confident putting out if I still worked for that company. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it is
Yeah.
now that I feel the new sense of freedom to kind of express myself how I want. I'm taking advantage of that, and yeah, I mean, let me you go back to you. Now that you are kind of diving in, deep with all of these, other things that you've wanted to do, do you feel like a sense of fullness that you didn't feel before? Would you
Oh
say?
yeah. Definitely. Especially where I you I always used my creativity to kind of express something, get something off my head, off my mind, and but what adds to it is now that I have social media, I can express things, and then uh, shortly after posting something, I truly find out that someone was feeling the same way and could have totally understand what I was going through or what I was saying, and so then I say, wow, that helped that person because now they're venting about something I wrote, something I created, and so that's I like it, and I'm going to more events, more poetry readings, more. I'm reading more books from other authors and other poets, and which broadens my horizons also because everything I read and I get inspired to do something on my own.
Yeah, definitely. I like your style when I do, the times that you post your poems and, I get to read them. Yeah, I always end up, being sucked into the post and, I'll read
Thank you.
through it a few times and get a little more out of it each time. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, you definitely right with depth and,
yeah.
I ask you, you know, if I ask you these questions in terms of like your artistic satisfaction because I do get the sense that you are in a very great place when it comes to that. And it's inspiring to me,
Thank you.
you and folks who have had the courage like you to, step up and just put yourself out there. Um, it is, inspiring to my soul.
Good. Awesome. It's good to hear. And Matt, I also want to offer to you that if there's any point or any time that you want to kind of have a discussion, open discussion with you and some of your friends ab- about anything, feel free to get in touch with me. We can set up a podcast, and what I call that is like the barber shop, and
Okay.
where men kind of hang out and just talk shop about anything as if they were in a barber shop. It could be about anything, possibly. You know, maybe misbehaving kids or being a father for the first time or being a pet owner as you are, or establishing a business, all those different things. It all depends what you guys create. But if you ever wanted to do that, you let me know, because I know you have a good circle, and our circle might be talking about something. And hey, let's do a podcast about this. And I just want to let you know that I'm open to anything, and I would gladly set it up, and we could talk about anything because we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube.
Hmm.
Occasionally, I try to put something on Substack, and that's that's a great audience, which could end up leading to other conversations, other discussions, or comments about something that you guys bring up. So,
Yeah, that'd
um,
be great, man. Thank you so much for letting me know because yeah, my wheels out, tonight are gonna be turning with ideas for sure.
oh,
Um,
great, great. Um, I truly appreciate the bracelet you guys that have made, and they're awesome. I wear them every day. I actually don't have it on right now because I was doing something around the house and I didn't want to end up snapping it or something like that, so I took it
yeah,
off.
yeah.
But great, awesome, and I wear every single day. I mean, and I love it.
That's
It,
great.
it means a lot to me, and definitely got a lot of compliments about it. And I told everybody to reach out to you, and if you want something made, the creativity is
Oh, thank
awesome.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, I
man, we
like
put
to.
it's a lot of love that went into it.
Well, the next thing I want is something red and black. Red and black's my favorite colors. So I'll be talking to
Okay.
you about it. And meanwhile, if you are creating anything that's red and black, please send me a picture so I can definitely. Chances are with those colors, I'm gonna buy it anyways. I truly those are my favorite colors.
Okay, yeah, I've got some things in mind already. Just
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
we'll be talking soon. Um, so yeah, I forgot to mention that. That's the other aspect of my business is what you experienced, and to those who are listening but don't know, Charlie was kind enough to volunteer for me to do my kind of proto run of what a gift delivery with my dogs would be, because that's my other kind of aspect of the business, besides promoting businesses while I'm out on walks, is making special deliveries of gifts. In my mind, I envision like if you wanted to send flowers to somebody, that's kind of an experience already, right? To have someone ring your doorbell and present you with this nice presentation. Oh, this is from so and so. So I think that me and the dogs could definitely add to that. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, so you
I'm gonna
being
see
on
if
the
I can find
receiving
the
end of that, what did you think of that experience?
that experience was nice only because um and the one thing I like about it is that we were I was just getting home or just getting arriving at the tail end of my day at work, and you guys were already there, and um it almost like it was set up for a marriage proposal or something like that. So,
Yeah.
the signs out there, and and then it grabbed some attention up from my colleagues, and one of them was
Yeah.
a true blue dog lover, and so for her to see it, it was amazing. Um, the only reason why my wife could come out because she was on a very important phone call with a relative that was in the hospital. So even if we waited, she still might have been hesitant because of with the dogs. But going out there and then seeing you guys and then getting to touch and feel and just look at the dogs was awesome for me. And then I didn't realize that I wore the wrong color. So when I end up going to the car, I got paw prints all over my pants, and it was funny. But it didn't help that the rain was coming down.
Oh yeah,
And
no, right when before it was almost time to go, it just started coming down. I said, "Oh, great." But
but I love that video, and I actually just want to make sure that I add it to what I'm trying to do is um, create more things for my page and my podcast, and that's one of them. That video that you guys have. Um, I, I, it's wish I could put it on the screen. I won't be able to
oh
right now.
yeah, I love that video.
Yeah, so I'll definitely share it. on the page. It was good, and definitely I'm going to use every bit of it with some of my promos, and because we have some great guests. Um, I'm going to probably have maybe two, probably 2 or 3 more podcasts for this summer, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of slow it down a little bit. Other than the one that I do at Marvin, which is sometimes you have to lose yourself, which talks about almost
Hmm.
anything, but it mainly was the main purpose of it was to talk about grief. Everyone goes through grief, and uh, so that's every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So what I'm gonna do is the Really Charlie podcast. I'm gonna interview probably 2 more people during the month of July, and then I'm gonna take all of August off and come back in September.
Yeah, it
Um,
sounds like a plan. That sounds interesting. The lose yourself one.
yeah, sometimes you have to lose yourself, and we talk
Mhm.
about people. Grief is almost is absolute when it comes to us as humans, and so we're gonna. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the loss of a loved one. It could be a job that causes grief. It could be
Mhm.
situation at home. It could be almost anything. Grief is, is a part of everything. So what we try to talk about and inspire others that you're not alone. You're not alone what you're going through, and that if you want to talk about it, have an open discussion about it. We tell people come on the podcast, and especially if you share something that personally happened to you, there's always someone silently listening, right? Uh, they're
Mhm.
not going to show who they are, but they're going to listen to every single podcast, and they're going to pick and absorb everything that you're doing, and they may say, "Yeah, that's what I'm going through," and this is how maybe so and so dealt with it. Maybe I'll give it a try, and that's what we
Mhm.
try to do on the podcast. It's just to let people know that they're not alone. And in fact,
That's
this
cool, man. I love that.
yeah, this tonight's show after this, we're going to talk about love is and what love is, to you personally. What does it mean to you? What are you looking for? So we're going to talk about that, and also talk about the pill Protandim, which activates your cells in your body. And gets rid of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress
Mm.
is in everything. It's in the air. It's in the air we
Yep.
breathe. It's in the food we eat. It's in the water we drink. So that Protandim, which I take every day,
Mhm.
helps me out.
Oh, that's great. Did you are you do you follow he's not around anymore, but you know who Dr. Sebi is?
Yes, yes, I do. Yep.
Yeah, I'm into learning all, all them kind of remedies and, the
Mhm.
kind of things that, I don't want to, go conspiracy theorist here, but the kind of things that I personally believe are kind of kept suppressed from people so that they are dependent on, the pharmaceutical
Yeah,
industry and
big,
what
big,
have you.
big
Um,
pharma, right? Yep.
yeah, I'm very into learning about all that. So yeah, I'll probably tune into that too right after I log off. I'll still be sitting here with you.
Okay. Thank you. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of things that can help with the body. And it's right here on Earth. It's naturally here. And if you do your research on it, you can pretty much a lot of things that we all go through is there's a lot of
Mm,
natural remedies for it. And if you stick with it, it will definitely help you. And we don't try to get everybody to or anybody to get off their medications that they're prescribed, but we also tell them that some natural things can help you elevate your numbers so the medication can be reduced eventually. But
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, so
Hey, at the end of the day, healthy is healthy, feeling good is feeling good, you know, however you can get there. Hey,
so true, so true. Um, you mentioned about music, rapping, and
mm,
everything. One thing I
yeah,
use
yeah, but
is I use music to kind of calm me down. Relax me,
mm,
get me into a mood to or a good vibe to start writing. And so I like that. I like that you mentioned about music and writing and um, you know, hip hop has a lot of messages in there, good, bad, and ugly.
mm,
My go-to is R&B music, and also I love listening to country music because of their unique lyrics. People don't realize how unique the lyrics are in country music, and it just kind of inspires me, gives you a clear picture um, and of what the lyric is meaning. But that's also
mm,
in all kinds of music, right? Because you can get an urban feeling, or urban perception with hip hop music, and it's man, that's like right around the corner from me, Or you know, I remember traveling in that big city, and yes, I did see such and such, poverty, homelessness, and you know everything. It just
mm.
it's amazing that lyrics could just it brings out so much.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely, man.
sometimes
And it can
too.
be,
Go ahead, Matt.
oh, I was just gonna say, to me, it's, you know, there's no matter what the subject matter is, whether it's something negative or positive, it's to me, it's more what is the messaging about that topic? Are you glorifying it as if it's a good thing? Like a lot of times with the violence and the sex and whatnot happens, you know, in hip hop and other genres. Or are you, you know, are you pointing out some reality about it that maybe people may not realize and might actually, you know, spark a new way of thinking for people? Or are you trying to keep people trapped in the same thought loop of gotta get the money, gotta get this, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, when you talk about how, you know, it can take you to all these different places, it's, you know, I try to get people to, you know, without being, you know, preaching, I try to get people to realize some music can keep your mind trapped kind of in a bad loop if you don't
Exactly.
pay
Yeah,
attention.
yeah. I'm just gonna grab your site here so I can put it up there. What I want to talk to you about is when it comes to crystals and everything. There was a time in your life you didn't have them in your life, right? You didn't have the crystals in your life, whereas a day-to-day thing with
Mm.
you. And what is the one thing, thing that it has given you since you had put crystals in your life and starting Soul Keystones and crystals?
Well, I always had a lot of interest in spiritual topics, you know, metaphysics and things like that, but I never really dedicated myself to take a deep dive into them topics until we you know started handling the crystals, and I would research the crystals and all the different sources and what they'd have to say about what, you know, various cultures had to say about these crystals and the different
Hmm.
ways that they used them. um, and of course, when you start getting into that stuff, you know, you could start reading about crystals. The next thing you know, now you're on some page about, you know, incantations and like how to, you know, bless your crystals and cleanse them and kind of you know, you in the crystal world you hear that word a lot, programming, like people
Hmm.
program their crystals for a certain purpose. So like I got a piece of quartz right here. Quartz is
Nice.
considered one of the most versatile in terms of what you can program it to do. So if I sat here and I wanted this to help me have some dream tonight that's going to bring some kind of clarity to me, I
Mhm.
might sit here with it in my hand and just kind of think about that intention and then put it under my pillow when I go to sleep at night.
Yes.
Um, it's things like that, and it's your intuition a lot of times too. Like once you get a sense of how they work, like I just made that whole scenario up in my head, but like
Hmm.
that's what anybody can do. Um, and your belief, of course, is a powerful thing. That doesn't mean that the crystals are or aren't, anything metaphysical in and of themselves, but
Yeah,
it's not gonna do much for you if you don't believe in it. You know what I mean?
exactly. Practice what you preach. And I fully believe that when you're practicing and preaching something, especially when it comes to crystals and stones, you gotta really know what you're talking about, and you also gotta believe it. Faith is so important with everything that we do in life.
Mm.
From 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 faith in getting a job, from faith in spiritual things, faith in that yeah we're gonna make it as a family, faith in a lot of things. It's so important. Um,
Yeah, man, it's your belief and your mental energy is what creates ultimately your reality that you're gonna have to live in. So
mhm. I mean,
yeah, you want
how
your
many
faith to
times
be
you
strong.
yeah, yeah how many times you I mean you may we come across someone that is down and not doing too well, and you try to give them some positive vibes and inspiration, and they're just not seeing it, just not believing it, because their faith has them that today is going to be the same as yesterday. I'm still going to be here, without anything whatsoever, and that's what happens.
Just had my backdrop fall on my head. It's hard.
It's happened.
But
Um, I
but
had
yeah,
one.
no, absolutely.
I had one show where I had a light above my head, and it was just there. Thought it was secure, and sure enough, during the podcast, it came tumbling down. Um, and thank God I was able to delete that. But anybody that kind of saves it from the beginning, they probably still have that footage.
Hey, we'll just call that like a metaphor. You were hitting me over the head with some real facts.
Yes, so true. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So what's next on what's the next chapter of everything that you're involved in? What do you what's your next goal?
Um, well, my outlook with the NB Mush Mob is I'm gonna take it as far as I can. I I may or may not end up in a another full-time field, but even if I do that, I'd really like to still at least try to continue this endeavor on, whether it has to be a weekend thing after work, whatever. That I'm 40 years old at this point, and I come to know myself well enough to know that I need some kind of outlet to be me, to do me, or I'm not
Yes.
gonna be fully happy. I could maybe tolerate a lack of self-expression for maybe 3 or 4 years while I'm getting into a new job or something. But after that, I'm gonna start feeling like, oh man, like I'm starving some part of myself. So
Yeah. Exactly.
I gotta
Um,
keep my life robust no matter what.
yeah. And I mean, if you need anything my way, let me know. I come across a lot of people. I think I have a good network circle. And So if you're looking for something, and don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to send me a text and say, "Hey, this is what I'm looking to do. This is my plan. If you hear anything, let me know." And I would gladly reach out, to whoever I know, because you get 5 stars. Everything you do, I truly, truly love. So you're always going to get high regard or high recommendations from me.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much, Charlie. That means a lot to me.
Yeah,
And likewise, if there's, if we can help you, promote the podcast or, a book that you got coming out, anything like that, I'm, happy to help in any way that I can, always.
so thank you. I appreciate it. Let's kind of go into a question that I ask all my guests, and it may be difficult, may be easy, but the question is, Matt, who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
Ooh. Um, Off top, I'd say, Leah, she mentioned when you talked to her, she has her book coming out, and I think that's going to be a very important story. At the same
Yes.
time, I will leave that for her to, reveal what that's going to be about and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I can, say a little bit more about is I would like to see, and I don't have a particular person in mind, but I mentioned to you I'm very interested in, learning about the spirituality of different cultures all around the world. Um, Through the crystals, I've learned a lot about what you would call like folk magic traditions from around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, when you try to look that up for Cape Verde, there's like no information out there. So I'd be interested in hearing about those kind of like folk traditions that come from the islands. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure there are some. I know with, there's the Contadors, so I know
Mm-hmm.
there's the concept of, a talisman against the evil eye. So I know that there are those traditions, and I'd love to hear more about them.
There's the I'm definitely what I'm gonna definitely do is, now that you had mentioned it, I'm gonna kind of throw it out there to a few people I know, a few elders that I know. I also want to speak to one of my guests that she resides in Brazil, and I think she can answer a lot of questions. So if
Mm.
she can, then I'm gonna actually um, with your permission, I'm gonna give her your number and have you guys talk about it, because
Yeah,
she's
that'd be awesome.
yeah, definitely a deep deep person, and I think spiritually it could be something that you you can benefit from, and that help you out with your journey.
No, that's great, Charlie. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody texted me 1 second. So are you, obviously you're helping Leah with her book, um, and you know continue to be a supportive person as you always are when it comes to her book, because
Mm.
me personally, what I know from her and about her is that book is going to be amazing, right? It's truly going
Oh
to
yeah.
be amazing. So when she's kind of getting discouraged, please lift her up, and and if you need anything from me with her, you know I would gladly lift their spirits, because I already know the deepness and all the sincerity that she has. Um, and I just think that when she comes up with something, it's going to truly, truly help out a lot of people. And it's going to be something that, a book that I don't put down. It's going to have to
Oh
read
yeah.
it cover to cover.
Oh yeah. No, thank you. It's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be a very important story, and hopefully it helps a lot of people.
Yeah.
It has been hard for her to revisit a lot of the things that she's writing about. It's it's peeling a lot of scabs, but it's also, I think, in the
Yep,
long
yep,
run, gonna be very, very healing too.
yeah. It's man, it's when she mentioned it that day, and I was like, man, that's going to be great. And I thought about it, a few minutes after going home, and just know that it's going to be something special. She's going to leave something on the shelf that your family can look at, years later, and it probably will inspire someone else to do something.
Mhm.
And it may not be similar, but they're going to do something and say, look, mom or mom did this. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna do the same thing she did. I want my book side by side with hers. Or it might say, you know what? She did mention something in chapter 4. Man, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that because I went through the same thing. So definitely
Yeah.
can't wait. That's going to be something. And uh, remember this, right? There's one thing that a pizza delivery guy can do that an author can't do. It's a pizza delivery guy or girl can feed a family of 4 every single day. Just brings a pizza home.
Yep. As a former pizza delivery guy, that rings true.
Yes, you know.
It was always
Uh,
extra pizzas to bring home.
yeah, exactly. So, um, Matt, in closing, I just want you to close the podcast off with anything that you want to say. And
Um, I this is random, but I heard it as I was scrolling through, my little Facebook videos. It was just something that's gonna stick with me. It was a lady, and she said, in order to sleep,
clip that.
you have to pretend to sleep first. And once
Mm,
you realize that, you realize the secret to doing everything. I'm paraphrasing, but you kind of
yeah,
get the point.
I do. I do. That's going to be a great. That'll be a great clip for us on this podcast because I'm going to create some after this. Well, StreamYard creates some clips for me during the podcast, and that's why clip it. Clip that so it clips that conclusion that you came up with. That's going to be great.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to learn more about podcasting too, because I've got an interest in that. So there's so much I can learn from you.
anytime, even if it's feel free if you want to kind of just put a podcast out there and you don't have everything, you don't have the equipment, just let me know. I'll be the guy in the background, and we'll create something, but it would all be through you, and I would just sit off screen and whatever you wanted to talk about, you can definitely do it. Um, Subscribe to StreamYard so I keep it going. And so if you want to get started at any point, let me know, and we can create whatever you have in mind. So I'm just offering that to you, and it's here for you until you perhaps get all your equipment or subscribe to whatever. But I gladly would like to see that.
Hey, thank you so much, Charlie. I can't thank you enough. This has been, hey, man, I feel like $1 million right now.
Oh, back at you.
Thank you so much. It's been,
As soon
I
as I
knew it
get
was
the
going to be great. I was looking forward to this for a long time, but better than I could ever imagine.
yeah, and I'm gonna get you. I'll get you a T-shirt. And it will say "Really Charlie" on the podcast on the back.
Nice.
So when you're walking around with your huskies, you can kind of do your thing. And also, it's a promotion. So if
Oh
I
yeah, I
gotta
wear
pay,
it proudly.
and if I gotta pay you to do it, that's fine too. So, but I'll gladly get you one ASAP.
Oh, thank you, Charlie.
All
All
right,
right, man.
Matt.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, and I will yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll probably be sticking around, still watching you after this. So hey, I hope you have a great rest of your show and a great rest of
Okay.
your night.
All right, we'll be tuning in. We'll be going on exactly at 8. And thank you. I appreciate the love and support.
Likewise, my friend. All right, we'll be talking soon.
All right, take care. Yes. All right, everyone. That's one of my fabulous guests. I've known him for a very, very long time. I want to say since he was probably about 15, 14. Great dude. Him and his girl are just doing amazing things. They built a great, great family. And they have a fur family, and it's called NB Mush Mob. So check him out. He's walking around the city. It's him and 5 or 6 huskies doing their thing. And so if you see him, say, "Hey, I seen you on the Really Charlie podcast." You know, but appreciate it. And if you want to promote your businesses, definitely check him out. So he's on all social media, and definitely Instagram. That's the one you want to join him on, and Facebook. Don't forget, yes, crystals. Those things are amazing. I truly, truly believe in crystals. So, all right. I'm going to set up for my next podcast with Marvin Speller. Sometimes you have to lose yourself. Podcast, and we are going to talk about love is. What is love to you? What is love to you? And feel free to stay tuned. Right at 8 o'clock, we'll be on the air again, back on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All right. Thank you. And I'll see you in a few moments.
It's the Really Charlie podcast. Sounds so true. Grab a chair, pour out a glass. Let's break through. Echoes in the room as the stories unfold. Tune in, lean back, let the moments be bold.